Like you're a woman and you hit so hard
Yeah.
that people think you're a man.
They made you quit. They broke you. They broke your will.
Like,
Welcome, everybody, to the Not For Nothing podcast, hosted by the dynamic duo Christopher Michael and Ashley Mayland, where they delve into life, love, relationships, and personal growth. Be sure to tune in every week for a refreshing take on life's most important lessons.
All right, we're back. What's up? How was your night, Ash?
well, I'm sleepy, but I don't have any real reason to be.
No, did you sleep good? Like, did you get sleep?
I didn't sleep super well.
How was the hotel?
The hotel was great. I stayed at
Which one is it?
the Ray at Del Rey.
Oh, yeah, I know which one it is,
Oh,
actually.
it's so cute.
It's on the water, isn't it?
Not right on the water, no.
Okay. Is it?
It's more on that main little strip there,
Okay.
but it's cute as can be.
It's downtown, though, no? It's
Yeah,
like
it is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it is. But I would stay there again. And I went upstairs to the rooftop bar that they had and had some lunch up there that was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, they have it. It's called Roast or something, the rooftop. Yeah, I know what it is.
Rosewater, maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's so good. And
It's
then
really
apparently
nice.
they have a couple other restaurants too that are open at like in the evenings. I just went and got ice cream though.
Yeah, that place is fairly new, actually.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I loved it.
It is. It's a great vibe up there, too.
Yeah.
On Saturdays, it's a really good time.
Yeah, they said there was a DJ that was going to be there last night at 9. I almost went up there because my other plans fell through. But I was like, do I really want to go to a bar by myself? You know what I mean? On a Saturday night.
It was in your hotel, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have just checked it out to see if you liked it.
I thought about it. I'm so like overly cautious these
Right.
days.
No, I get
Like
it.
I think about stuff like that a lot. Like, do I really want to be alone?
Right.
You know, like you just never know. You just
No, I
never know
get
what
it.
people are capable of. I hate to be negative like that, but you never know. You got to be safe. You got to look out for yourself.
I agree. As a woman, it's different. For guys, it's different. I mean,
Yeah,
You
I
know.
agree.
But yeah, so we might as well just jump on the wagon of this Australian breakdancer Raygon, who I've been getting a kick out of, actually.
I have to be honest. I haven't even seen it.
You didn't see the breakdance, really?
I didn't actually see the thing. All I saw was the multiple skits about her,
Right.
and the comedians talking about it, and that was enough. Like
Yeah.
I was rolling and I hadn't even seen it.
Yeah, she was not good. It was just the biggest thing with it was that just the controversy surrounding how she got into the Olympics. But aside from that, she's just hurting. They're not even bringing breakdancing into the next Olympics now. It caused a huge controversy. Yeah, she the biggest thing, and even from Australian breakdancers right now, is that she shined a really bad light on breakdancing.
Yeah,
as a
and
sport.
Australia.
Yeah,
For
well, everywhere. They're
that's too bad.
everybody's
that really
catching
sucks.
it. Yeah, she ruined a lot of opportunities for a lot of people. Is basically what it
That
comes
really
down
sucks
to.
for all those other people. Yeah, can you imagine if that's like been something you've done your entire life, and like they finally bring it to the Olympics, and you're like, oh my God, and you're like,
Right.
you put in all this work to get in there and be your best, and then it gets completely just dismantled by this one person who just.
Oh, she ruined it for everyone.
So what happened? Like, was she actually a break dancer? One.
She is. Well, she considers herself to be a breakdancer
Okay.
at least.
Okay. So how did she get in the Olympics then? Because
So it was just a combination of things. So one of the main things was just the parameters that they had set for what you needed to do to qualify. Apparently a lot of the break dancers were not willing to spend the money and roll the dice as to take the chance whether or not they would get in. You know, it just
Okay.
wasn't worth everything they had to do.
Okay.
They had to have a current valid passport. It was so much money to do it. And then wherever they had to travel to, it was just a lot.
Okay.
So her level of competition was already diminished from just those parameters. Then I can't, don't quote me on this, but from what I understand is one of her husband, who happens to be a breakdancing coach, supposedly.
what?
Was one of the judges for the competition, for the qualifier, I guess. So there's a whole big scandal surrounding how she got into the Olympics. And then, like, I've been watching her content clips lately, and she almost comes across like it's like satire almost. Like, you almost think she's like, she's not. She's definitely serious.
Oh.
But it's just it's just comical is my point.
Really?
Yeah, it is. Because she's clearly not an experienced breakdancer. Clearly not.
I just want to know the backstory. You know, like what is her story? Like when did she start doing it? You know what I mean? Like, is this something she just picked up a couple years ago and just wants to be good at it and somehow horse-waggled her way in there because of her husband? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, from what she says, she's been doing it her whole life, or at least for a big portion of it. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. You can look at her, and she's clearly, more advanced than maybe your everyday dancer.
Okay.
But is she an Olympic caliber dancer? Not even close.
I have
It was
to go watch it
comical.
now.
Yeah, you definitely need to watch this. It's pretty comical. So that's the video. And it's pretty wild though, right?
I mean,
Really wild.
I'm not going to, I can't sit here and say that I can stand on my head because I can't. That'll never happen for me,
Right.
at least not in the foreseeable future.
She should not have been there. Clearly,
But it
should not
is
have been there.
a drastic difference, even just from like, what was that dance show that used to be really popular? Not Dancing with the Stars. So You Think You Can Dance.
So you think you could dance,
And they would
right.
have different types of dancers on there. And
Yeah.
it's just like wildly different even from that.
Oh,
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing is she says like, listen, she responded to it and she said she didn't realize that it would create so much hate her way. Now, listen, I don't think anybody should have to get torn down by something, but at the end of the day, you can't say you didn't expect that. I mean,
Have you never watched American Idol?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that
Oh.
those people that go on there with bad voices think they're going to get made fun of? And
I would think that you have to suffer from a level of naivety. I mean, you can't possibly think that. I mean, if you think you're good, that's one thing.
Right.
You can't possibly think that under the circumstances that she entered into the Olympics, that she was not going to have people hate toward her.
I haven't seen any of her other performances, but she must genuinely believe that she's good. And then for her to get into the Olympics would only like reaffirm her belief that she's good.
Right.
So she probably really didn't expect the hate. I really don't think she did. Like,
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I guess it's just kind of the way that it went. I mean, listen, if the whole scandal surrounding it is true, then, things were fairly premeditated on her part, which would lead me to believe that maybe she did realize that she was not that good to get in under any other circumstance.
I don't know.
That's my problem with it.
I don't know. I disagree. I think she probably really does love doing it and thinks she's really great at it.
Oh, I don't doubt that she loves doing it at all.
And I think that she probably thought, wow, this is incredible. I got into the Olympics.
Right.
Like now, whether her and her husband, went behind the scenes and somehow
Right.
found a way to get her in under the cuff, who knows? That's a different story, I think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If that comes to light to be completely true,
Yeah, that's messed up.
yeah, then she was very premeditated about it.
Right.
Because if you really thought you were that good, you would never have to go to those lengths
True,
to
exactly.
get yourself into
a
the
good point.
Olympics.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
a
I
good
mean?
point.
You
Yeah.
would just go on your own, based on your own skill set.
Yeah,
and
that's
you'd
true.
Be confident in it. So,
That's true.
but yeah, the whole thing is it just kind of made a mockery of the sport, and it sucks for the rest of the athletes that want to do it, and now will not have the opportunity to do it in the next Olympics.
Can we talk about some of the other sports in the Olympics that they have now
Oh.
that are just like,
They're putting everything in now.
what? This is a sport?
What's
What
one?
is the one where they look like they have brooms and they're just like
It might
what is
Yeah,
happening?
maybe skeet. There's a lot of sports that you may be seeing more now, people paying more attention to that have been there. There's a lot of sports, if you think about it. Like when I watch the Olympics, I zone in on certain sports. So I won't even know that there are certain
True.
sports in there. Yeah, for sure.
I just don't get that one. I'm going, how is this an Olympic sport? What are they doing? What's happening here?
I'd love to know how they think up some of the sports, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like even the dance, I forgot what they're called, the girls that dance inside the swimming pool.
The Olympic synchronized swimming.
Yeah, synchronized swimming.
That's impressive.
Yeah, no, it's extremely impressive. I always try to think like how did they come up with it? Like who thought to come up with synchronized swimming?
Yeah.
Like how did it come about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been there forever.
I mean, that one impresses me so much.
Oh, they're
I don't
amazing.
even know how the heck, that is more than just one thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You have to be super fit. You have to be. I can't even
The way that
wrap my head around how they do that.
yeah, the craziest thing to me is how they keep themselves at the exact
treading
same
water.
level, but they're all in sync, right? Like
Insane.
exactly in
It's
sync.
like
It's pretty
like,
crazy.
It is, yeah, it's unreal. It doesn't even seem feasibly possible. And yet they're doing it.
Yeah, no, they do, and they do it well. I was
It's
watching
incredible.
it the other day.
Can you imagine the hours that they have to put in every day for something like
I
that?
get it. I mean, it is, and that's why it's called synchronized swimming. But just to get in sync with all of those teammates,
Right?
I mean, it's unbelievable to me. You know, it's like harmonizing a song.
I mean, literally in water, treading the
Yeah.
whole time.
It's
like,
pretty wild.
It's incredible. It is truly incredible.
But
And water polo is incredible too. Like,
water polo is pretty cool.
it's impressive too. I didn't even realize. Someone told me for the first time the other day that they're treading water the whole time, and I was like, "What?"
Oh yeah, they do tread
The
water a lot.
athleticism.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
you would be. I mean, it makes sense. They're all just built like you wouldn't believe,
Oh,
but
they're extremely strong.
it's just crazy to me that people can do
Yeah.
that. That is real skill and like dedication.
Oh, absolutely. The gymnasts are just superior strength, though.
It's unreal.
It's crazy to watch them. I love the gymnastics.
I mean, who
I like
doesn't?
women's gymnastics better though, for some reason.
I do too.
I just don't like the events for the men. Not to knock them. I think I just find the events for the women's gymnastics just more entertaining.
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
but I mean, listen, you got to give them all credit. That's why I think people take it so hard when someone comes in and makes a mockery of something, you know, because they worked their whole lives to get to the pinnacle of their career, and to be in the Olympics is like, you know, you've made it.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the peak.
that's the peak, right? Outside of being a professional athlete, and it's an honor, right? So even professional athletes that go and compete, you know, I mean, it's an honor to represent your
You're right,
country. You know?
right.
So yeah, I can completely understand why people would be so upset
Yeah.
by somebody manipulating their way into a sporting event.
Especially the
you know?
first year, ruining
First
it forever.
year. That's
at
what's
that
wild about it.
That's sad. That's really sad.
It's nutty. But we'll see what happens. I mean, so yeah, let's talk about Amani Khalif, though. It's pretty crazy. So did you see the boxing match, the Italian boxer that forfeited?
No, I didn't. Again, just like everything else, I saw a bunch of clips about it. I saw when everything first came out about
Right.
that, and they were calling her transgender,
Right.
calling her a biological male
Right.
that just like annihilated this woman and, you know, took the Olympic medal from her, which that was the narrative that I saw going crazy for a hot minute. And the next thing I knew, the whole entire narrative switched. And it was like, she's not actually a woman. And then people were like giving apologies. And I was like, what is going on?
Well, yeah. I mean, at this point, she is owed an apology. I mean, imagine being a woman and being accused of being a man, just to begin with. I mean,
That wouldn't be fun.
no, it wouldn't. I mean, just off. I mean, and a lot of it, I think people were kind of just making comments about her physical appearance,
Okay.
which is ridiculous, to be honest with you. But so yeah, the big controversy was, and what really sparked it all was that she failed a gender eligibility test the year before for the professional boxing championship.
Okay. How do you do that?
So from what we see, it could be testosterone levels too high for a certain period of time.
Okay.
Which I would imagine is exactly what happened with her, because she is a biological female.
Wow. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense in a sport like that too. You know, to even
Yeah, for sure.
naturally, maybe to have a little bit more higher testosterone for, you know, a woman that is in boxing. Like that's,
Yeah,
I don't know how that works. But
Well, they want you at a certain level,
Yeah.
especially for females, because it creates an advantage.
yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, it's weird. I mean, listen, if you're born with it, you're born with it. People
Yeah.
are born with physical advantages all the time.
True.
I mean, that's what makes the greatest players in the world stand out above people that are just great.
Right.
You know?
Lennox Lewis.
Say, yeah?
Remember Lennox Lewis?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
His
So,
like
I mean,
arm span was like,
yeah, he was a beast. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're born with the physical advantage, if you just happen to have higher testosterone levels than your female counterpart,
yeah.
then it's fine. I mean, what's the
What
big
can you
deal?
do about that,
What
right?
can you do about it?
Yeah.
They're gonna put you on a supplement to bring it down, which I
Yeah.
think is ridiculous to begin with. But my biggest thing is how the Italian boxer. There must have been something going on behind the scenes, because before the Italian boxer quit
Yeah.
and forfeited the match, you didn't really hear anything. So, and apparently her reasoning for quitting was that she had never been hit like that before in her life. And right, that she had implied that she knew she was up against a, transgender athlete.
Oh.
Which I'm curious to see, that never came out. I'm curious as to how she came to be, informed on that.
I don't see.
She had to go into the ring with that in her head.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, for sure. Just her reasoning for stopping in the middle of the bout. So she already had it in her mind.
Are you sure though? Because I
Yeah.
saw one of her posts where she was like talking about how people owed her opponent an apology.
Oh, after the fact, I'm sure. Because
Yeah.
now everything's coming out and she looked like
And
a
that
quitter.
she, yeah. But I just mean, I thought maybe she knew the whole time that she was a female and was just like, siding with her.
No, her whole thing was that she was not fair. She broke down, and you got to watch all this stuff like
Yeah, I need
right
to.
after she did it. But yeah, once the narrative changed, of course, because now you just forfeited against another female, and every reason you had for doing it is null and void.
Imagine like being that big of a badass bitch that your punch makes people think that you're a male.
Right? Seriously.
Like you're a woman and you
Yeah.
hit so hard
Yeah.
that people think you're a man.
They made you quit. They broke you.
Right?
They broke your will.
Like whew.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was, and from all that, this whole thing spawned. So, I mean, to me, it's ridiculous. It's like, listen, it should have been thoroughly investigated before anybody said anything ever. And
That's
to the
too bad.
credit of the Olympic Commission, they're the only ones that really came to bat for her right off the rip.
Wow.
Now, did they do it for her? Probably not. They did it to cover their own ass.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they still did the right thing.
That sucks for her too.
It does. It does suck for her. But yeah, at the very least, they owe her an epic apology.
Yeah.
Epic. I mean, the hate speech and comments and everything were just outrageous.
That would be awful to wake up to. Like you just wake up one day and everybody thinks you're a man and that you've been lying.
Seriously.
Like
That you snaked your way into the Olympics. You know what I mean? It's like some big conspiracy. But to me, it's just crazy. It just goes to show the world that we live in, though. That
quick to jump on a
it comes down
trend,
to.
quick to jump on accusations.
Oh, for
without
sure.
any. That's why the court system says innocent until proven guilty, because
Yeah.
until you have the facts, like you don't know anything.
No. And you shouldn't speak on things if you don't have facts.
Yeah, I agree.
You want to speculate a little bit? Fine. But it should have never broke out. It's what it was.
Yeah, that's true.
But it does. It goes to show the time that we live in.
Yeah, it sure does.
And how polarized things are. And it's almost like people were just waiting because there's been so much controversy surrounding trans athletes.
Yeah, true.
It's almost like people have just been waiting for the Olympics to come so that they can jump on, the first thing that seems out of whack.
yeah.
And that's exactly what they did. The
Yeah.
first moment that they had an opportunity to do it, they did it. And they were wrong,
And they were wrong.
which is even worse.
So I do remember there was a transgender. I can't remember if it was a woman or a man, but I remember in the swimming.
Oh, yeah, Leah Thompson.
Yeah. Was that the Olympics?
She was not in the Olympics, the NCAA championship.
Okay. I do remember that.
Right. She was, though, in fact, a trans athlete.
Okay, so that's what I thought that. I
Yeah.
thought that was the case.
And then she took, she was ranked 456th in the male division.
Okay.
And then she was ranked 1 in the female, just to show you the jump.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a big gap, huge gap. And what's her name? Anyway, her competitor who would have won wound up placing second. Basically, I mean, she worked her whole life and got stripped of her championship because she had to compete against a biological male. And it's things like that that create this, hostile environment. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if they didn't have situations like that at CAR, people would not have been so quick to jump on
That's true.
the boxer in the Olympics.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean?
That kind of like sets the stage.
It does. It sets the tone for everything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think we have to get a better grip on it for sure because we don't want things like this to continue. It ruins sports. It ruins everything for everybody. You're tainting something that's supposed to be like a proud moment for us as Americans with our athletes representing our country,
Right.
and for the athletes who are reaching the pinnacle of their career.
Yeah.
And they have to be surrounded by all of this drama and this
Yes,
bullshit.
that does suck. What about the high bolt?
It's a good sport.
What'd you think about that?
Oh, the guy with the big penis.
To say the least.
Well,
To say the least.
he's got a pole vault of his own.
That's what everyone is saying. That's what everyone is saying.
He doesn't even need one.
They're like, imagine losing the Olympic medal because your dick is too big.
I'll tell you though, if there was any way to go, that's the way to go.
I want to, I'm sure every man in history is like, man, I wish that could have been me.
Oh, that's it.
Like, not only is he actually a really skilled athlete,
He's gonna skyrocket. It's like social media stardom immediately.
Yeah, you didn't win, but you did win. Really, you did.
For the rest of his life. He will never have a problem getting a date, that guy. Ever. I envy him. Seriously.
Yeah, his dating life is set forever.
Forever.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Well, yeah, I mean, did he ever comment on it?
I haven't seen
I
anything.
would have loved to know what he said. What did he even say? What could
He's probably not to that place yet where it's even funny for him, honestly.
Oh, I'm sure he's devastated at the end of the day because that's not his goal. He obviously knew he had a big dick, right? So his goal wasn't to put it on display.
It was to go to the Olympics so that I could show off the size of my pecker. Like,
it's time. I've known it for 25 years. It's time to show the rest of the world.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, hey, if you have to go, might as well, go out with a big dick.
Yeah, if you got to be known for something.
Right.
Outside of your craft,
I'm just shocked,
poor guy. I feel bad for him though too.
He can't be the only guy that ever entered the Olympics with that problem.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. But
so I'm just curious. It's funny that it's never happened before.
It does make you wonder who fell short on this one.
Right.
Not him, obviously,
Right.
But somebody did.
Yeah, it's
where were the people that put that outfit on him? Those shorts were too big.
Yeah, I guess they should have maybe tucked it or something, right?
Don't they use a jock strap or something for
I
things
would think,
like that?
yeah, something like that.
Maybe they couldn't find one that was big enough.
I would have taken my leg, right? Yeah.
My leg.
The size of that thing, he could have wrapped it back to his ass. Remember Ace Ventura? He's when he tucked it, he's like, oh.
Could have wrapped it.
Oh man.
My God, just tied it in a knot, if anything,
It's wild. I can't
I
even.
do. I feel bad for
So
the guy.
needless to say, the Olympics have been eventful this year.
I mean,
No pun intended.
a lot of SNL content here this
for
year.
sure.
A lot.
I mean, it all started with the opening ceremony. It's crazy.
Why?
Even
What
that.
happened at the opening ceremony?
Actually, I'm shocked. So they mocked the Last Supper.
What do you mean?
It was drag Last Supper, basically, yeah.
Wait,
So, obviously, the Last Supper. So they
right.
They did a drag.
Wait, that was the opening of the Olympic ceremony?
Yeah, it was part of the opening ceremony. Yep.
But why?
That's what people want to know.
That's
No,
a weird...
They were they say that they weren't mocking Christianity, but I mean, it was clearly a mirror image of the Last Supper, for sure. I mean, it's unmistakable, obviously.
I just don't get it, though. What was the...
I don't really know.
What was the purpose? What was the purpose for it, though? Even the scene itself, what was...
They're saying it dated back to a piece of art, and I forgot from what time. Anyway, that was their reasoning behind it, that it was meant to emulate that, not the Last Supper. But I mean, it's very hard to make that distinction if that is in fact what it was, and who would even know
Right.
what that was.
Right.
Why would you think that over the Last Supper? I mean, it was so clearly. It was.
The
It was
Olympics,
pretty
though,
wild.
that's so strange.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Why are you doing an opening ceremony like that?
That is a very strange place and time for that.
Right. It's a sporting event.
Right. Yeah. No. I'm that's why I'm confused more than anything. I'm just kind of confused because it's what was the purpose? It doesn't even make any sense.
No, it was wild. I mean, they go from, people like Muhammad Ali carrying the torch.
Yeah.
To guys shooting flaming arrows into the cup.
Right.
And then they do this. So
What?
it's so wild that that's how much times have changed. That's how the opening ceremony used to be conducted. And now Paris decided to do this big, debauchery of.
Oh, Paris. It was
It's the Paris Olympics, yeah.
That's so strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
pretty wild.
I guess that's a little different with it.
So yeah, let's pull it up.
Get that Paris is known for fashion and all of
Right.
that. It's a huge hub for that.
Okay, so show off new uniforms for the athletes. Do something creative that way. Keep it sporting, based.
Yeah,
Why
that was
are
a
you-
very interesting.
Listen, there might have been people that disagree with it, but first
still.
off, drag has been around forever.
Yeah, there still would have been people who would have hated it because it's
Yeah,
just,
of course.
life,
That's just
but
right. But at the end of the day, at least, it would have made sense.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But they go and do that. So, I mean, it's just been one fucked up situation after the next. I can't get over it. I've never seen so much controversy in an Olympics before.
Yeah, no, me
Yeah.
either.
It's insane.
That is so weird that so many things happened.
Yeah.
That
too many things.
It completely took away from the Olympics themselves, you know?
Yeah, well, look at Paris. I mean, you get the Olympics, and then this is what happens. I mean, it's a horrible look. They'll never be back there again.
Yeah, true.
Ever. I think they're coming to New York next, right? I think they're supposed to. The U.S., I should say, I guess. But, yeah, they definitely need to work out the kinks before it comes here, though, for sure. That shit won't fly. See, if we did shit like that, the world would be on fire.
They're like us, the French.
Oh, my God. So on that note, the Olympics were pretty wild and crazy. So I think we should let's talk about the craziest things we've ever done, Ashley.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear yours.
You can wait, trust me.
Why don't we say one thing that we would never want anybody to know?
Ooh, no thanks.
Just put out a dark secret. We'll call it the dark secret segment. We're peeling back the layers now, baby.
Oh, I have some good ones. If you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
I'd just tell myself that everything's going to be okay. I've asked this question a few times.
Okay, wow, that was really deep.
why.
Thank you. Thank you for that answer. That was
Well,
really
I would, because there was
profound.
plenty of times in my life that I did not think things were going to be okay.
Yeah, of course.
So that would be the best advice I could give myself.
Okay. Have you ever gone skinny dipping?
Yes. You'll find it very hard to find something I haven't done, Ashley, probably. If I'm being honest.
Do you still have most of your exes in your phone?
Every one of them.
What? That's a no for me.
Because I'm friendly with a lot of them.
I'm friendly too, but
Yeah. I don't typically date women that would have a problem with something like that. I'm not like,
have you ever been arrested?
yes,
For what?
a lot of things. I've been in jail, Ashley,
For what?
for an onslaught of things. Accessory to burglary,
What?
accessory to robbery. Actually, I have a whole episode on this. This is like public knowledge. Yeah, it's the 5th episode.
Okay, well, I
my
wasn't
whole
here
life.
for the 5th episode.
My whole life story.
So I'm trying not to judge, but what?
I don't care. I would never tell anybody if I cared if they judged. I'm an open book. I put
Obviously,
it out there.
you were like a teenager.
Yeah, I was 17 at the time. But it was just, I just wasn't a rat. That's all.
Okay.
Somebody else did some things. I knew about them, and I decided that I was not going to rat them out. So I got charged as an accessory.
Okay, that's a little different, I guess.
You don't snitch where I come from. You ever hear snitches get stitches?
Yeah, I have heard that.
That's how it worked. The way I grew up, it was a lot more than stitches.
If you could text someone without that person ever knowing it was you, who would it be and what would you say?
Who would it be and what would I say? I don't know that there is anybody that I would text in secret. I'm not.
It's kind of a weird one.
It is. I don't care enough to not be open with somebody to text them anonymously. I would just tell them.
Okay. What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
The craziest thing I've ever done? I don't know. Like, what do you mean? Anything?
Yeah, anything. Anything that you've done that you were like, that was insane.
Oh, okay. I mean, crazy, dangerous, I would say more than anything. So when I was 16 years old, there were these crazy, windy back roads, and we would race down them at like 120 miles an hour. Yeah,
That's stupid.
it was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if
definitely
people like crazy or
dangerous.
just.
Well, it was crazy and dangerous
Oh my
and stupid.
God.
The most crazy things are stupid to do. I mean,
Oh
that's why
my
they're
God.
crazy.
Okay.
It was fun. I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
Anything would have been exhilarating. That
True.
especially. Are you
True.
kidding?
Wow. Okay.
What's the craziest thing you ever done, Ashley? Not go to confession for a week?
What? I wouldn't call that the craziest, but
Yeah, share. What's the craziest thing you have ever done, Ashley?
the craziest thing I've ever done. God, this is sad.
Oh boy.
This is really sad because I've never been much of a daredevil.
Yeah, it's all
I'm sure that's shocking. I'm sure that's shocking to you, but I mean, I don't have any like crazy things where I was like, I can't believe
Well,
I did that.
it's all perspective, but for you, what was the craziest thing you've ever done? It's probably good, actually.
There's two things. These are so like amateur and so dumb. I don't even want to say it. Okay, well, we'll go back real far. Craziest thing I've ever done was I stole a lip gloss one time when I was like 11.
Okay.
But I felt really bad about it, so I took it back.
Okay.
But that was pretty crazy for me. And then in high school, to like fit in at the table I was sitting in,
Yeah.
I threw a cheeseburger at one of the teachers.
Oh, did you really? All right.
No one believed that it was me because I was always like very well behaved,
Right.
you know, like very polite in school and kind of like, you know, teacher's pet type thing.
Yeah.
So when it came down to it, every single person at that table got called to the office except for me. Because that's genuine. They were like, no, there's no way. Ashley Taylor didn't do that.
Right.
There's no way.
I believe that.
And I felt so bad because no one would say anything. So every one of them got detention except I didn't even get called to the office. And I felt so guilty about it that I went to the office and confessed.
And you confessed
Because
to
I
it?
didn't want 12 other people
Yeah, I get it.
to
That
go
was
to
a big deal.
detention for something I did to be cool, you know?
Right.
And when I went in, I'll never forget it. I went and sat in the principal's office. I was like, I have a confession that I need to make. And he was like, okay. And I said, I was the one that threw the cheeseburger at lunch. And he was
Right.
like, okay, Ashley.
Right. Thought you
Okay.
were trying to get them out of
Yeah.
detention.
And I was like, no, it really was me. And he was like, I don't believe you. And I
Right.
was like, no, it truly was me.
Right.
And I can't let everybody else go to detention because of that. And
Right.
he was just like, so you know that you'll go to detention, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, are you sure that's what you want to do? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I still don't believe you, but.
Right.
And I was like, okay.
What else
So
you gonna do?
he still didn't believe it. But
No, I believe
I
that,
took
though.
the detention. And yeah.
I mean, if they were my friends, once they didn't say anything about me, I would have came forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Because no one was going to tell on me. And I was
Yeah,
like, I
that-
can't.
That would have been enough for me to say, all right, they did the right thing. Now I have to do the right thing.
Right.
You know, for
so
sure.
it was like they all stood by me and were like, you know, in all fairness, it was all my guy friends. So like there was like a certain stage in high school where
They
I
all
wasn't
wanted to
friends
sleep
with
with
very
you?
many girls.
I'm just kidding.
What?
No.
What did you say?
You said it was all guys, and I said you said there was a certain stage in high school, and I said where they wanted to all sleep with you.
Oh,
like
well,
meaning that they kept
I think
your
that's
secret.
just high school boys in general.
For
I don't think
sure.
they're particular about that.
Absolutely.
But no, I lost like a bunch of weight in high school, like I don't remember if it was my freshman to sophomore year or sophomore to junior year. But up until that point, I was not popular. I was chunky. I got teased a lot,
Right.
made fun of a lot.
Oh,
And
poor
shut up. And I lost all this weight
yeah,
and came back to school, and suddenly every dynamic
isn't
shifted.
that great though?
I went from like all the girls thought I was great and the boys made fun of me
Right.
to all the boys thought I was great and the girls didn't care for me much anymore. And so there was like a whole year where I was just like sitting at the table with all the guys because
None of the girls wanted
my
to do with
actual
you.
girlfriends weren't in the same lunch with me.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay. Well,
it was like,
probably a happy moment for you.
I didn't mind it.
Bittersweet.
I
maybe,
had 4
kinda?
brothers growing up, so it was like I was
Right.
probably too comfortable with boys, to be honest
Right.
with you. Like I've always kind of been that way. Like I have to be very careful when it comes to like women and like that have a boyfriend or
Right.
I think everyone should be, but like I go out of my way to like be respectful and like
Right.
have like very clear, you know, because I've just seen how you can think you're being friendly to someone
Right.
and it comes off as flirtatious to
Yeah.
their significant other, or it comes off as flirtatious to the guy when you're genuinely just
Right.
being nice and friendly. And because I've had like a bunch of brothers, like I was so used to being around boys growing up and like playing with boys and like all these things that
Right.
it never really, I didn't think much of it.
No, I
You know
can
what I
say
mean?
people misunderstand things sometimes, but I mean, listen. I mean, if they're your friends should know you well enough to know
Right,
that
they
they're not trying
do. They
to
do.
steal. You
They've
know what I
never.
mean?
None of my close friends have ever even had like the thought.
Right.
But like someone that you don't know that well.
Oh yeah,
and,
for
like,
sure. Well, some girls are very. I mean, guys too are territorial.
Yeah, territorial. And,
Yeah.
and even like we all have insecurities too. Like
Oh, for sure.
you know. So
So that's pretty not crazy.
not crazy, not crazy at all.
I've done a lot. I don't know. I had a really crazy life growing up, so I calmed down a lot once I turned 30.
Well, you grew up in New York, right?
I grew up in New
Or
York.
was it New York or Boston or
Bronx?
Oh, the
in
Bronx.
New York, yeah.
Oh,
But
interesting.
yeah, once 30 rolled around, I
Right.
left it all behind.
That's kind of like the year
That was the cutoff for me.
where you're like, okay, my childish ways have to go now.
Yeah. See, what would make honestly, it would have stopped sooner, but why it persisted for so long was I was a fuck up, but I was a very proactive, functional fuck up. Does that make sense? I swear to God.
I don't know how you put those two words together and make that make
it's crazy
sense. But
because I was always a worker and I always, believe it or not, had my priorities mixed, but at the same time, they were always straight. So I would do things that could jeopardize them, but I was still on a path to make sure I was always doing what I needed to do.
you had your ducks in a row, but you were like the epitome of like fuck around and find out.
I was always about fuck around and find out. Yep. Always.
I have fucked around and not found out
I
many
always
times.
had to. I just always had to find out things for myself. I was just a curious guy. Like,
Yeah.
I was a curious kid. Always wanted to know why I couldn't do something. Always had to find out why those were the consequences. It's just how I was. I don't know. And my parents, God bless them, I think they knew that I needed that in my life. So while they would let me hit bottom if I had to.
Yeah.
They'd be there to cushion the fall.
Right.
But I think they knew I had to learn
Like
that
this
way
kid's
to
going to
grow.
have to learn the hard way.
Yeah, they did. So
Let him go. Let him do his
they
thing.
never tried to smother me. They kind of just let it play out. And yeah, that was it. So here we
love
are.
it. I love it.
I'm still alive.
I was always like the opposite. It was like, please don't make me push the envelope. I don't
Right.
want to. Give me any reason that I don't have to. Like, just such a rule follower, like through and through.
Oh, yeah, I mean, listen, I can imagine there's got to be, I don't know. Things would have been a lot easier for sure. If that's
If
how
you had
it
just
was.
behaved.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, my brother Eric, on the other hand,
Yeah.
Woo!
I would not recommend it. I do not recommend my path to anybody ever.
yeah.
Tough road, man. I'll tell you.
So, what would be the first thing you would do
Yeah.
in a zombie apocalypse?
The first thing I would do, oof. Like it just happened, like it's happening in the moment. Shelter and food.
Yeah.
For sure.
First thing I would do is get a group of people that I felt like were resourceful and get out of the city. If there's
Yeah.
a city, that's the first thing I would do is get
You
out of it.
see, like we're different in that aspect because for me personally, I would want to stay as far away from anybody as humanly possible. Because when people get desperate, you're in for it.
Yeah,
So I would
unless
be
they're people
like-
you really, really trust.
Yeah, desperation.
Like I'm
does-
thinking, when I say that, I'm thinking like my dad.
Yeah,
right?
that's
like,
different. Of
I'm
course.
thinking, right? I'm thinking my dad, my best friend. Like,
Your best friend will become your worst enemy real quick when they're desperate.
well, yeah, that's life. But what other choice do you have? Lone wolf, the whole thing. Like, I'm a
Yeah.
parent. I'm a mom. I can't. You think I'm just gonna be able to protect me and my daughter by myself?
No, I guess not. But I guess the crazy thing is, it would have to be somebody like, because you'll wake up in the middle of the night one night with a pillow over your face. You know?
And they're
Just
hungry.
So right, 'cause they want your food. You know what I mean? Or they want you, right? The female population starts dwindling down, and you're one of the few remaining. Eesh.
Oh, that would be terrifying because it's bad already.
Yeah.
It's bad enough. Oh gosh.
I mean, if it's anything like they make movies out to be when people are truly desperate, it'd be bad.
What's your favorite zombie apocalypse movie?
It's not a movie. It's The Walking Dead.
Oh, I do love The Walking Dead. That was good. It got a little bit monotonous at the end, but
Well, now they have the movies coming out.
do they really? I
Yeah.
loved it for a while though. Loved it. My favorite movie is I can't remember the name of it. World War Z.
Oh, with
Brad Pitt?
Yeah, that was a good movie.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, that was good.
That one was so well done. Like it, and I love Resident Evil, even though
Resident
that's,
Evil's good.
it's not the same. It's more, sci-fi. I mean, obviously they're all
Yeah.
sci-fi, but like, I just love the concept of a badass chick just taking people out. Like
Yeah.
it's like my favorite thing, like loved Tomb Raider for that reason.
I was just gonna say you must love Tomb Raider.
Oh, I love Tomb
That's
Raider.
So funny.
I love all those badass chick movies
Yeah.
like that. Like they're the best.
G.I. Jane,
G.I. Jane, loved it.
Yeah. Jada. G.I. Jada.
G.I. Jada. Oh, don't say that. Oh, don't say that. Please don't let Will Smith listen to this. That was so bad.
Yeah, he had a rough moment.
That was so bad.
Well, we're going to talk about that anyway. We're going to get into the celebrity.
Well, I love a good badass chick takes on the world.
There's a lot of good. I know what you like. Since you like that type of stuff, is Eva with Jessica Chastain.
Oh.
And another one with Jessica Chastain called The 3-2-1. All right, everybody, that's it for today. Thank you for joining us. As usual, continue to give us your feedback. Be sure to check us out on IG at notfornothing.podcast and on YouTube at Not For Nothing Podcast. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.